brought in. He was a planner for 9 or 11 years, had no experience as a city manager in any other city. Our charter, which is like the Constitution of the United States, that's what the city of Peekskill goes by, its charter. But you chose to let those laws go away. And again, you want to circumvent them laws. So the people of Peekskill will be watching very closely tonight.
Circumvent them laws.
9. Maybe you want to explain that to me right now, Ms. Claxton. And why was this man hired without the benefit of a search after he had quit the job here, went to Putnam as a planner?
No, he went to Putnam as the Commissioner of Economic Development, Planning, and Transportation.
But he was not a city manager there. He had no experience as a city, and he still doesn't live in Peekskill. According to the Corporation Council ruling on this, 2 of the 3 things that a city manager needs, he lacks. To me, I know a little bit about contract law.
I'd be interested in knowing how you know what the Corporation's Council opinion is on that, since it is a confidential document.
That is not a confidential document. That's been said at this meeting.
Really?
You don't recall that?
Isn't that a confidential document that we have not even turned over to our city manager at this point?
That was said at this meeting.
Memorandums, the documents that you received are still protected by attorney-client privilege.
Right, and that is the opinion. So I'd be very interested, Mr. Ondeck, in knowing how you know the opinion of the Corporation Council.
You may review the tapes, and you will see that will come up. And Ms. Claxton, you're highly wrong on something else, revaluation. Do you know for the past 7 years it would not only have been the condominiums that could revaluate, but the whole city could have revaluated, because the economy went down for 7 years. You seem to always have the answers how to tax and spend. That's what the previous administration did, the failed Foster administration. No, and you were part of it. And what you're doing tonight, if you bring back the city manager as an interim city manager, it's morally wrong, ethically wrong, and borders on illegal.
No, it doesn't.
No, because you know the ins and outs of the charter, that we could have hired a city manager. We could hire a city manager.
Thank you very much for your comment.
I want to finish.
You have more?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to it.
Again, the failed Foster administration.
George, get to your comment. Your next comment. Let's go.
Again, on the city manager, the failed Foster administration had a high school person in as a city manager.
A high school person?
Yes, the last one. He didn't have a college degree to the best of my knowledge. And he was running the top job in the city, which should call for an MBA. I don't know if our charter calls for that, a Master of Business Administration.
Well, actually, our HR person has a Master's in Business Administration, and
but she doesn't have 3 years' experience in city management, and neither does this gentleman. It's illegal. We will watch your vote tonight. It should prove interesting, and the voters will be watching 11 months from now.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim Ball, Fremont Street. First of all, I want to apologize to the Assistant Corporation Counsel for the last meeting. I misinterpreted what she had said and took it like the wrong way in my understanding of it. So I publicly apologize to her at this time.
Thank you.
Now, I have a couple of little things I want to read. Like it says here, a penalty for violation of duty. He violates or evades any provision of the law or duty allows any public property to be lost to the city to be deemed guilty of a misdemeanor, and in addition to the penalties imposed by law, shall on conviction forfeit his or her office of employment. Now, the last time I was here, I read something, Mayor, and you said that civil law is different than municipal law. Well, I had looked up hide it in my, I had people look up municipal law, and it was a hard time finding it, but
My wife looked it up.
misdemeanor is a behavior or an instance of it. Law, criminal offense defined as less serious than a felony, which comes down to fraud, deceit, trickery, or breach of confidence used to gain some unfair or dishonest advantage.
You need a prosecutor to charge, you need a police officer to witness the crime and charge a misdemeanor. You need a prosecutor to prosecute it, and if there was a conviction of any member of this council, they could then be removed by this council. It's not automatic. So
Right, can I finish?
you keep jumping on this as if it's that we're high, we don't want to prosecute one of our own for some kind of crime. Whether it's a felony or a misdemeanor, only a prosecutor can prosecute. This body is not empowered to bring charges and prosecute its own. We don't do that.
Your corporation counsel can advise you on this, and they can do that. But please, just let me finish reading what I'm reading, okay? Thank you. Any deception or trickery, a deceitful person imposter. Deceit, the act or practice of deceiving, fraud, cheating. An act or device intended to deceive, trick, or stratagem. Trickery, the use or practice of tricks or stratagems to deceive, artifice.
Can I just ask you, what item on the agenda are all these comments about?
It's on the article, the provision of Article 9.
Article 9 just corrects something that happened that was improper.
I understand this, but this law pertains to it.
But it's not a crime.
No, let me finish.
Mr. Ball believes it is.
Trickery, the use of practice or tricks or stratagem to deceive, artifice, deception, a trick to be used to deceive. Now you come to culpable, deserving blame or censure, hold liable, and it says see culpable, which says Roman and civil negligence, neglect, liability, and blame. And the laws came down from the Romans years ago, which all laws were previously based on, coming down through history. Now, there's 3 people on this city council, and it says in here, a misdemeanor, and the charter is law of the city of Peekskill. You can't tell me it's not law. It's not civil law, it's municipal law. The city came here in 1940. The council throughout those years wrote this charter. They broke the charter illegally, and it says it's a misdemeanor or to be dispersed. Now, there's 3 people on this council. 1 person didn't vote for the city manager. But the thing is, why didn't she report it to the Committee of Ethics, who knew that the rest of the council was wrong in voting for this? Because she's been here, you heard it tonight, 12 years, and all of these people here can't tell me they don't have a charter and they don't read the charter before they vote on something that's been given a resolution. So they illegally, on whatever the situation is going to be for Anthony tonight, should not be able to vote according to this charter because they broke the charter law.
That's absolutely not true.
Thank you.
How can you say it's not true?
All right,
It's not a charter.
stop.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thanks.
Oh, boy. Now you brought it on.
I'm tired of hearing the city manager stuff too. I mean, Jimmy was, by the time you'll get it settled, he'd have been here 3 years with a whole lot of experience. Do what you're going to do with
That's
that.
right, thank you.
Let's go on. Let's go on. I'm real tired of it. I have one concern here, then I'm truly going to leave. Resolution 12. I'm a little concerned that we keep settling these lawsuits with the police and our citizens. Well, what's up with that? I'm a little concerned with that. You the top cop or the chief, somebody tell me, that's a little bit of a concern. We're always settling these lawsuits.